gosh, my excitement, as if, I mean, the excitement is on my face, and you can see my guest
I
as
know.
well. It's like, is this really happening? So
I know.
I'm just thinking back to YouTube about 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
when none of this was the option. The only options we had was doing pre-recorded videos and
Right.
having to edit and all of that. So YouTube has come a long way. Thank you so much to the University of YouTube for making this happen. This is absolutely amazing. What do you think?
Big big time. I always say YouTube changed my life. So I mean,
It's amazing the times we're living in. So, welcome to all our guests. If you are in the house right now, we haven't got any guests right now, but if you do join us somewhere along the line, or if you join us on a replay, thank you so much for taking the time to click and watch and listen to what we have to say. Today, we are going to make it a fun one. It's the end of the year. It's a nice way to wrap up the year with a conversation with my newfound friend, who is also a fellow freeform lock wearer. Plus, he has an amazing channel here on YouTube. You know what? You know what I love about your channel? It's the simplicity of it.
I want to know about it. Yes.
It's the simplicity of it. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. I'm getting you. I'm getting you. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's how simple you keep it. You don't complicate it. You just kind of get straight to the point. I guess maybe it reflects the busyness of your life as well, that you're busy and you just want the short, sharp, get to the point and get out and deliver the
Wow.
message.
Great one. I feel even encouraged to do more, really. Yes, because the idea and you really coined it well, as if like as if you know me. Because once I step out of the hospital or out of my other work or day job, whatever thing, the next thing is if I got a few minutes, you want to shoot, right? So I'm shooting and I'm like, okay, would an emergency, will I be called up for an emergency or something? So
Yeah,
it's really
yeah. Good, 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 good. So we have Brittany in the house joining us. Thank you so much, Brittany, for joining us all the way from Alabama. We welcome you. Thank you so much. Let us know if you can hear us loud and clear, or if you can't. So we need to make if we need to make any adjustments to our sound. We did a test run a couple of days ago, so we feel like everything is working fine, no glitchiness. Today is going to be a conversation with my friend. So let's kick off on Nonconformist Eyewear here on YouTube. My name is Deborah. So over to you, the handsome young gentleman that I have in the house today.
right. So uh, I just want to know, you just when you called, you mentioned the name again, nonconformist I wear. I was like, where did this start off? Where did this name come from?
Well, it's been around with me for a while. It started with my specs. If you notice, I always have a different spec on.
I get it.
The last time I saw, if you look through all of my social media, you will see me with some different spec. And so it kind of started with me thinking, I don't want to conform to standards of everyone wearing one spec every day. Like, I don't wear the same bra every day. I don't wear the same shoes every day. So
Right,
I don't conform to any standards specifically, except standards where they're legal. Like if I don't conform, I'll get in trouble with the authorities. So that's
right.
how it kind of came about. So I see myself as non-conformist with what I wear.
Okay, okay.
I play on the word what I wear.
To wear. Wow, cool. Because those one of the things that really drew me to your channel. I
Okay.
was like, okay, this lady, she got some locks on, but then that non-conformist, there must be some strong. She must have some very strong values. You
Yes,
know, and
yes, 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 yes.
cool like that. Yes.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good, good. Okay, so it's over to you. Let our guests know who you are, what you contribute to this beautiful planet Earth of ours, and we'll get rolling.
Right, right. Okay, I'm Emmanuel Ekukole. Okay, I'm from Cameroon. Yeah, and if you like more precisely from the southwest region, Cameroon. And let's say I like to see myself like a student of life. I'm a master of myself, but student of life in the sense that I easily get interested in. I've never really allowed myself to be limited to just one thing. Depending on what day of the week you find me and what time. I could be on my guitar, acoustic guitar, or I could be online trying to look for a new online gig. I'm also into medicine. Okay, I'm a general practitioner of medicine, and I've been doing that since 20. Let's just say officially since 2014. Officially, I was posted, and then that's it. So, but generally, I'm a very curious person. Always asking, what if? What if? What if we did it like this? What if we didn't have to wear the trousers this way or wear the pants? Yes, right.
I get
So
you.
that's it. I'm from family of two, now three. Yeah, with a half sister. So I have two younger sisters. Yeah. So I'm the guy of the house, kind of. What else again? What else? What else? What else? I think that's basically it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, 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 good. If anything else comes to mind as we go along, please do feel free to share. I like that you said, "What if? What if we don't have to wear it this way?" That absolutely resonates with me because I am one of those what if. Thank you so much for joining. If you're joining us, I am one of those what if people as well. I can't
Right.
seem to, from a very young age, I can't seem to do things the way, understand why I have to do it the way you do it. Why do
Right.
I have to do it the way you have to do it? Why do I have to follow what you're doing? This is my way I want to do it. It feels comfortable to me, and I don't want to be like everybody else. I think it's boring for me to look like you and be like you. So I like the fact that you challenge what if. Why does it have to be this way? Yeah.
Right. Right. And I think that's the only way that they say progress relies. There's one saying I love a lot. In fact, it just says in essence that progress relies on the unreasonable one, right? So it's because of the unreasonable ones that things can move forward.
Progress,
So
progress. Yeah.
that's that's kind of yeah,
How life is really, isn't it? That's the variety. Variety is the spice of life, as they say, right?
that's it. That's it. Really, really.
Good, good,
And,
good, good.
and
Do you know that it's also funny that you say you're from Cameroon. I swear hands down, I thought you were from Nigeria.
okay, interesting, cool.
I,
But
I thought you were from Nigeria.
what made you say so then? Are there some traits or something, accent, or I don't know?
the, the accent and your features, and
Okay.
I want to say that I have fallen into the trap of conforming because I've had so many people say the same to me. They think that I'm
Right.
from Ethiopia, Kenya,
Exactly,
Eritrea, or Somalia. And I say, what makes you think that?
exactly, exactly. I wouldn't, I wasn't thinking that way also for you, So, well, I think in a deeper sense, we kind of, yeah, we go with the features generally, and we know, like, probably I don't know, we just know best in our minds how to tie, the features with where we're coming from and all of
Yeah.
that, the
And
geography.
ultimately, they're all related as well. No matter how you live it, with migration and all of that over the centuries, we are all related somehow, all over Africa.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And it just confirms that, really.
Yeah. So let me kick off. Let me kick off. I guess we would want to know a bit more about your freeform log. So, what was the defining factor for you that made you decide? I'm guessing at some point you used to cut your hair or shave your hair or shape it up like most young men were raised. So, what was that moment you had that made you say, look, I don't want to do this anymore. This is what I want to do. Not only lock my hair, but I want it to flow freely.
Right. Okay. Physically, physical manifestation of it, if I put it that way, was in just like last year, 2021. Yeah, around that time, January, February, March or so, 2021. But I like to say that I'd always had, from the time I was a medical student, like we're talking the years 20, I graduated by 2013. So like around 20, if I take it back 2, 3 years, let's say like 2010, 2009 or so, when I was like year five or so, med school, I had entertained this thought, while I would do those rounds as a student, I was like, oh, I just want to have my locks on. I just want to have my hair free. I don't have to be combing it all the time. But then it was unimaginable at the time. I mean, I couldn't be still a student and everything and be wearing
Yeah.
locks and everything, and that was going to cause trouble and everything. So it's not until there's this, you know, flash forward 2014, I graduated from school,
Yeah.
and this is here am I now in the city called Kumba. That's where I was posted to for work. That was my first location, and I'd worked there for some time. And there was
Yeah.
this incident that happened actually 5 years later. By 2019, there was some crisis going on in Cameroon, right? And
Yeah.
there was this fire that broke out. I was actually working in the hospital premises,
Yeah.
and we were actually attacked that night. Gunshots, fire. I had to just jump out of this house before it started burning and everything like that. I lost everything I had, you know.
Wow.
So to keep it a little simple, to keep it simple, I left the town, right, and then decided to go back to my hometown, which is,
Right.
yes, Yaoundé. And I had an opportunity like a year, 2 years after that to come back to the same city where I had this thing happen.
Right.
So in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm coming back to this city where I had this thing happen to me. And I just felt this thing in me that kept telling me, you have to be a different person. You have to move on. And I started doing that in a sense with my behavior and other things, like maybe if I was too nice or whatever thing. But I felt that I had to have a new persona, right? A new image. I was going to build a new image for myself. So here am I, a doctor, no longer a student, and I still feel like I have a little leeway now to really like do my thing, right? So I think
Yeah.
those were the few things, but that was the thing that really was raging in me. I was like, I just felt this need to have a new image of me. I wanted to just look back and say, wow, this is just, you see, this is a new me. You see,
Yeah.
I'm in the same city, but I want to work like I want to see the world like I'm seeing it with different eyes.
Yeah.
And somehow Locks just did it to me. That
Yeah.
that old just came back to me at that moment. I was like, yes, this is it. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any time to go for it than now.
I like
So
that.
it's a mix of that new persona, new image kind of thing,
Yeah.
reuniting with this aspirations I'd had my years back, you
Yeah.
know, then tied with this all non-conformist thing. Look, I really don't care what you guys think about me. I'm gonna be a doctor, but I'll rock my locks. So it's that kind of thing. Yes.
Oh, I am
Yeah.
sorry to hear about your experience that you had. Couldn't have been a very, very nice one. But one I guess that will your locks will be kind of a reminder of you surviving it, coming back, starting again. Perhaps people who would know you, they see you and say, Emmanuel, is this you? You look different, kind of. Oh, you look different, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's a really amazing story. And one of the surprises we had for our viewers today. Thank you, Charles, for joining. We have a few more people joining us. Thank you, Charles, for joining us from New Orleans. I'm coming to New Orleans one of these days. um, but we have a surprise for our viewers in terms of the fact that I was going to answer the same questions, as well as the fact that Emmanuel has some questions, so we can make it more conversational. And for me, in a nutshell, this is my second set of Freeform Locks. I did my
Yeah.
first set probably about 8, 9 years ago. They lasted for about 18 months or 2 years. And the reason why I decided to do the first set was because I was coming to the end of a very painful time in my life. It was a very painful journey I'd been on. And I got to that point where I was just like, oh, I can breathe now. Oh my gosh. I just want to be me and I want to do this. So I started locking my hair, pretty much looked the same as what it is now, except I then made a mistake. About 18 months down the line, I had added fresh aloe without straining it. So I had aloe stuck right in my locks. I couldn't get it out. I washed it, I brushed it, I did everything. And then my locks started to get musty. They had started to have a funny smell. So I went bald. I shaved it all off. I kept it shaved for about maybe another 6 months, a year, had a tapered cut, had it loose, did all sorts of funky things to it. And then came another point in my life where I had to make another change, major change in my life, another major transition of moving, being able to kind of travel between different countries freely. Again, there was another period in my life where I'd come through another point in my life that I'd finished another chapter and a new
Yeah.
chapter was beginning. And I thought, you
Yeah.
know what, let me start my second and hopefully last set of Free From Logs.
Wow. Hopefully last. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
yes, 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 yes.
Wow,
So,
wow, it's interesting. It's interesting that these log journeys come up with, and they're tied, they're intimately tied with, the moment, what you're going through in life and everything, it's
yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is. So, to our viewers, if you have any questions for Emmanuel, Emmanuel is my guest today, joining from Cameroon. Please do feel free to leave your questions in the comment box. They come up really quickly, so I'll grab them while I can, or I'll click on the chat section. So, Emmanuel, will you free from lock your beard? I can see you're growing a goatee and everything. I have a brother called Sean Farrow. I follow him. He's one of my favorite YouTubers on here, and he's got his beard down here and he's free from locked. Would you ever consider that?
right. Right. I've watched him a few times. And I had time to decide also by watching him. I was like, nah, it's cool for you, bro, but yeah, I'll probably, yeah, that's not for me. I don't think it's really for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
good.
Okay. Not quite. Not go that far.
Right, right,
Well, I don't have a beard, so I'm a woman, so I don't grow a beard. So that does not really apply to me. Um.
right. But
So
who knows?
what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I was saying that, but who knows? Maybe I might want to try it sometime. But then immediately, no, I really think it's not my thing for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
It takes a lot of confidence to do that. You need confidence and whatever your lifestyle is, and everyone's different. So
Yes,
for some, even having this on the head is way too much for them, let
yeah,
alone, growing a beard. But I think it's just amazing on him. It looks really kind of cool on him. I love it.
yeah. In fact, he gave me opportunity to kind of look back. I've been looking at some of these historic figures and everything, and I realized that they had, they would lock their beard, they would braid it,
Yes,
you know. Yeah, it really
it is
it really
good.
has the diversity of the whole thing.
It is. It is. It is. It is. Welcome, Johnny the Dread. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being in the house. Um, Emmanuel, what is the worst and best comment you've had about your locks since you've been free forming? What's the best comment and the worst one? What can you think of?
Yeah, this is interesting. Because so far, I don't think I can really count the good ones, because the rest of the bad ones is. I think the worst one I'd gotten was from. I think my the last employer. Yeah, she was referring to me as Nobanji or something like that, which is supposed to be. Uh, in short, spiritually I'm not sound. I'm supposed to be like some kid or some guy who really doesn't, I mean, has lost it completely, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, yes. um but the good ones came more from, I think online I'd had a viewer who was like, wow, your locks are coming up strong, they look strong, and they look, and stuff. But I think most of the comments really were in the bad direction. I think it's always in the looks of cut that thing down. I mean, come on,
Mm.
uh, you will not get a job. It looks silly at this age. What are you doing? So yeah, but I think the worst I got was that one. Yeah, from
Yeah.
from from.
Doesn't Charles is just saying, he's making a comment. I can see his comment. He's saying he's loving the inspirational stories from us. Thank you so much, Charles. He's
Oh,
joining us all the way from New Orleans. So thank you. He says he loves the inspirational stories. Thank you. So, Emmanuel, doesn't the lovely comments and the bad comments as well? I find the bad comments actually makes me go want to even keep going.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Actually, the more they come, the more I want to stretch even further. Yeah,
yeah,
and then the more they come, the more I also keep confirming what I was supposed to expect. You
yeah,
know, so really, that's also the thing. So it kind of adds more strength to what you're saying. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you know that
I
story,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
you know that illustration of like the sun competing with the wind, and they're asking themselves who is going to push this man to take off his coat faster.
Okay.
And then the wind starts blowing, and the
Yeah.
harder the wind was blowing, the more the man clenched and held his stronger. And then the son was like, "Okay, it's my turn," and he goes gently and gently, and the guy just takes it off. You know, so I think it's actually
That's a good one. That's a good one. Like an African proverb, right?
right.
That's a good one. For me, the I tend to get a lot more positive and um motivating comments
Okay.
in person and not in person. Most people don't tend to see my hair out in person. I don't even know if they notice. And most of the time when I go out, I wrap my hair. I'll sometimes leave the ends out, but I tend to wrap my hair up so they can just see something sticking out. So no one really says anything. But online, when I come online, I get a
Yes.
lot more positive comments than I get the negative. I think the one negative comment that has stood out for me has been, and I wouldn't even say it's negative. In the early days when I started this channel, as part of my description, I used to put in this hair typing, which is the numbering system, the hair typing system in the, Afro hair community from 1 to 3 or 1 to 4.
Oh,
And I felt like mine was between a 3C or 3B or something like that because it's very fine and loose. And I had someone in my comments literally fighting with me. Um, okay, someone's asking a question. What question do both of you get most? Do you have a length goal? Okay, I'm gonna come back to you, Johnny the Dread. I'll come back in a minute. And so she was fighting with me in the comment section that your hair is not 3C, your hair is not 3B. And I thought to
mm,
myself, good Lord, I do not want to argue with anybody about hair typing. Because to be honest, I don't even buy into the hair typing. I couldn't care less what hair type it is. Nature has
oh,
given me what it is, and it is what it is. I just know that it's fine and it's delicate, and that pretty much is what it is. So I stopped using that description in my videos, and that was the end of the conversation with her. I just basically said, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I'm an easygoing soul. I don't really like to get into confrontations with people online. It's not necessary.
okay. Okay. I get it. So I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It could be hair type E or D or something. You know. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
So that was
I
that. We've been asked a question by one of our viewers. We might as well answer. He says, "Do we have?" Let me see if I can pull it back up. It says, "Oh, where will I get it? Let me see. Oh, where will I get it?" I think the question from Johnny the Dready says, "Do we have any hair length goals? Do you have any hair length goals for yours?"
okay. I would love it to go as long as it can, you know, but then my initial goal is to have it like drop to at least I split it up, but then the short term one is at least to get to my shoulder, like shoulder length, you know. But then I would love it to like hit even my back, like right down the lower back area and even a little lower, you know. So
Yeah.
I think to the back, lower back area there. Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good. Good. And for
Right.
me,
How about
I
you?
don't have any. You were saying
How about you?
for me, I don't have any hair goals. I really don't. I've never really thought about how long I would want it to be. But now that I'm being asked the question, all I can say is that I would want to have it at a length that I can manage it and I can look after it and it doesn't become a burden for me in any way, or it becomes too heavy or causes me any strain. And I have to be mindful that my hair is very fine. And so, therefore, I feel like I believe that if it's too long, it may start to pull at the roots of my hair. If it's way too long, because I don't have that uh, extremely strong foundation when it comes to my hair. It's very fine. So I would have to be mindful of that. But however long it wants to grow, I would be more than happy to welcome it to grow as long as it wants to grow. That's pretty much it.
Right, right. Okay, so you're not so mindful about it. You're kind of detached from that aspect of things. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just let it
yeah,
stay.
yeah. I remember when
Great.
I was loose and I used to watch YouTube videos. I used to see people with rulers measuring their hair. I could never understand it. I was like, why am I measuring my hair? I don't get that. I don't get it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So you were talking earlier, you mentioned something about, you got some worse comments from your workplace. And this
Yes,
leads me to the next question, which is you said in one of your shorts, your videos on YouTube, that you had been fired from your job
yeah.
because of your freeform locks. Can you tell us more about that? Because this may help someone out there, which will probably lead to the next few questions I want to ask you. So, can you tell
Ye-
us a bit more about what happened there without sort of putting your employer or ex-employer on the line? Because I'm guessing you wouldn't want to do that.
Yes, yes. Actually, it was around the same time last year. Yeah, this is interesting because this was around the same time last year. But before it happened, 3 months before, that's around October of last year or so, September, October of last year or so, I had been approached several times. You know, my employer, she would walk into the office a few times and she would kind of, it started like just teasing, like, hey, doc, won't you comb your hair or something? What's happening? You see? And I was like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, this is just how I want to wear my hair. It's just my style, my way of doing it. My hair curls, by the way, a lot. That's what I would say. And then progressively, it got more and more intense. And then until it came to an ultimatum, I think by October or so, it's like, okay, we're giving you till December because or before that ultimatum, right? These were the comments I was getting. Oh no, because of you, you're scaring away some of our patients. Um, we don't want to have that kind of thing with our patients. So if you had it cut, if you had it shaved off and neat and everything like that, it's gonna go well. And then finally by October, then that ultimatum came up. Now it's like, okay, you have till December. Then if you don't do something about this, uh, then we would have to let you go. You know. So in the meantime, then the truth is, I was like, yeah, it could be easy for me to do that, but I was like, I was more around the question of like, is it really true what they're saying? Is it really founded? In all of my interactions, I don't feel it. I don't feel what you're saying. But then I'll see what I could do. So I just kept thinking about it. Sometimes I'll try to tuck it in, some kind of way, but it still didn't go. So a few weeks then in December now, like the first week or so or 2 weeks, then the pressure became a little stronger. And it's interesting because then, even though they were going to fire, I was going to be fired, right? This is what I was told. I was told to write a resignation letter. so I should rather, it should sound really like I was resigning. That I should
Wow.
resignation letter and everything, stuff like that. So uh, I went back and forth with that. And even when that day, I think that day actually I had a talk with her in the office
Yeah.
uh, for about like 30 minutes or so. She was trying to understand, why am I keeping this locks? Why am I keeping my hair like this?
Yeah.
Is and I just kept saying, This is just who I am. I don't know how to explain it, as much as I can explain the color of my skin or whatever, you see. And the idea also that, yes, I could shave it off,
Yeah.
but when I'd walk back the next day to the office to work, it would not be the same me anymore. I'll feel like I've lost, this is just part of my values, right? So
Yeah.
it won't still be the same me. So I just can't, I can't go with this. So this is me now, a few days now before the D-Day. In my mind, I was still like, probably these are just some threats, and probably this is not really serious. Especially since I was going to be the one to write the letter. I mean, the
Yeah.
resignation letter. Um, it was just so awkward. It was awkward in the first place. So it got to a head, and I was like, "Come on, Manuel. I don't know where else to address this thing, but I would take this one on me, right? I'll tell myself, I'll take this I'll just take this as a sign in the universe. I'll eventually go to where I'll be accepted. And even if this has to happen to me, it's fine. So that's the kind of thing that went through my head.
Yeah.
And writing this letter, awkwardly, of course. So I just wrote it, and that's how it ended. I dropped it, and then I just left. I packed my things and I left. That was it. That was it, really.
Kudos
Yeah.
to you. Kudos to you, Emmanuel. Kudos to you for standing your ground, And I know it couldn't have been easy. We have some really amazing comments coming in from Charles. I hope you can see it. He's talking
Yeah.
about the education system in the US, and he's also talking about, just us being be able to embrace what's coming out of our heads naturally. No one has to explain why their hair comes out of their head the way their head the way it does. Why do we have to? Why does anybody have to? Whatever it is that you choose to wear.
Right.
Who dictates what is professional? Where is
Exactly.
the standard? Where is it written in the law of the land, the law of? I know we have to follow rules. Don't get me wrong. I do know that when you're in a certain place, just the same way we have to conduct ourselves a certain way. We don't just go into work and start touching everybody up and start kissing everybody and hugging them and soliciting them for different things. But when we're talking about something that is very innately natural to us, why do we? It has no bearing on your intelligence. It has no bearing on your work. I knew as soon as you started talking that you were going to say, I guessed that, hey, Kev, thank you for joining. Thank you, Kev. It's good to see you. Peace, love, and family. Yes, thank you. But I knew exactly as you started speaking that you were going to say this. They said, or they would say that you were scaring the patients away. I knew, I guessed, I knew that was going to be it. And I truly believe in my heart of heart, it was the biggest excuse. It's the easiest way to get a member of staff to conform because our patients are key to us. They are our
Right.
customers and we're here for them and we must do everything to please them. Yeah,
Right. Right.
because no patient is going to be dying or be on their last bed and say, you know what, Emmanuel's Locs are scaring me now. Please don't administer this injection for me, please. Oh. No one's going to do that. They're just like, I need help. I'm unwell. Can you sort me out? Whatever it is they need help. They could care less. I don't even think they see what's on your head. I,
Right.
all they see is probably your white coat, the stethoscope. That's it. Whatever else is happening around you, whether you've got you know, uh, extra lashes on or whatever, I don't really think they care. I don't think they
That's
care. So, well done to you for sticking your ground. Now, I come to the next question.
right. Right.
Are you worried this might happen again? Because now you are in a different job. Are you worried this might happen again?
I expect it. I expect it. So I think what has just changed now is my mindset. When you go through that, then it also gives you some muscle into like what you believe in, what you stand for. So, and that also means that it pushes you also to the edge. You got to be a better person. You got to be a better version. When are you going to stop depending on the matrix? Are you going to find a way of like having some side hustle or something, or build at least, or get more independent, so that you don't have to get into trouble or something like that. So I think that's what's happening now. It's more of a freer place than where I was before.
Okay.
I think generally, yes, generally speaking, but I still expect it though. Yeah, I expect that it can happen. But then the
And have you
difference now is that I'm kind of preparing myself, in
Yeah.
case this thing happens.
Have you had
Right.
any snide comments from, like, like the previous lady? Have you had any comments from anyone who manages you that has said something about it?
At least so far, not. So far, no. So far, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, so far, no, not yet.
Right.
Let
Okay.
me say, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
hopefully not. And yes, it does make you think about having a working towards being in an environment that you are in charge of, you are in control of at some point in the future. I'm guessing that's what
yeah,
you're trying to say, where no one tells you what you have to do with your hair, you know?
right. Especially if you're giving people value, and especially if you're playing your part of like, being there for them,
Yeah.
then they should be looking more at the value than, you're bringing to them than the other
Your
aspect.
outward appearance, yeah. For me, I've never been in the position that you've been in. Again, welcome to our viewers. Thank you so much for joining. The questions I'm throwing to or posing to Emmanuel and I have agreed that I will also answer them as well. And also, Emmanuel does have some questions for me later. So we'll try and get through as quickly as we can. But I've never been in this position before where I have been fired for having my locks. Not the first time, nor this time around. However, I work for myself, so I don't answer to anybody. But by the same token, I am very conscious when
Yes,
I am in spaces with those that I believe may have a problem with it. And so,
yes,
therefore, I'm privileged that even before I lock my hair, way before I lock my hair, I'd always been someone who likes to wrap my hair or wear a hat or something on my head. My locks has
mm,
nothing to do with me wrapping my hair. It's something I did way before then. So it's something I'm just carrying on. So a lot of people are used to seeing me with a wrap on. Therefore, when I go into spaces like that, they just expect me. If I don't even have a wrap on, I think they will question me as to where's your wrap? Why didn't you wrap your hair today? As opposed
yeah,
to your locks are a problem to us. So for me, I'm still conscious of it when I go into spaces that I think
yeah.
there may be a problem, but I'm fortunate that my wrap actually is kind of my protection, so to speak.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's it really too, because as it started getting longer and longer too, I realized that okay, even though I would like to have them free, um, how about covering them every now and then? I remember, is it not Nation talking about this? Sometimes you just don't want to attract that negativity around. So I'm like, okay, let me keep this thing for myself, just enjoy myself in there, without having to attract the negativity in the first place. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
just a small thing to do
Yeah.
to also,
And
yeah.
and also I find that I get less comments. I get less comments. I get less. I don't know whether it's real or fake when we're on the street sometimes, or when I go to Africa where people do wear logs. You get a lot
Yeah.
of comments with people saying Empress, Queen, Empress, Sister, Rasta. And as a lot of it is good. Some of it I'm not sure the energy I feel, I'm not sure whether it's altogether right or whatever. They have different connotation, just too much attention, too much all of that on the street. So when I cover it up, you don't know what's underneath my head. It's only between me and my locks that knows what's underneath it.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's really, I think.
Emmanuel, if you met a young person today, a young man who says that I want to freeform lock my hair, but I'm going into a professional field, what would be the advice you would give to that person?
Okay, that's a real good one because I had to ask myself also the same questions, in there, especially when you're going through the thing, you want to be someone who can be well placed to give advice like from your own direct experience. So I would just tell them, look, our stories cannot be the same. I can't give you all the answers. You would have to develop these answers for yourself. And this would depend really on where your values are. Where's your heart? Where's your treasure at this time? You know, in some cases, you might have to wait. Maybe you might have to postpone it a little bit. But in all of that, what I'll tell him is okay, whatever thing you're doing, right? Uh, set up your system or your life such that at least you have something that you're working on the side, like some side project or something, while you're doing your day job, your professional thing, and whatever thing like that. Um, Study your environment, and I still think that even though we are in the matrix, we'll still have to play. We would have to be like smart enough to play by those rules, um, to be a little bit tactful also, right? Play the game, know what you want. You want to keep the locks, but if you would have to play the game a little bit, until you get free. I don't know what level you are. If you're at the level where you can make a little more decisions and you're closer and closer to the administrative side or executive side or wherever you find yourself, maybe it's easier for you. If it's not the case, I don't know. I'll just tell him, okay, make sure that at least you're building on something, you're working on something if you really want to be free. Uh, if whatever you're doing is not really what you want to do and you can find something better, which will also allow you a workspace where you feel freer, why not? You could be looking for spaces like that, you know,
Yeah.
um, while working on your thing.
Yeah.
That's because one of the things I was looking for when I was leaving that job from there, was also a place where it's a clinic, it's a private clinic. So there's very little. I have how can I put it? Between me and administration and administrative executive board, for instance, there's not really many persons in there. So that also gives me some kind of. I think that at least it's. I
Authority,
mean,
in a position
yes,
of authority.
exactly. You see, I think that it kind of weighs less and less on me.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to study your environment, study your space, and then wherever you need to play by the rules, do it. If you need to cover the hair up for some time, okay,
Yeah.
do it, and it's okay until you free yourself up. I, for one, I'm one of those who really promotes doing your thing. You should always working your thing on the side. So I
Yeah.
think that's a good opportunity uh
Yeah.
to work on that side
Yeah.
hustle until it's the main thing, and then you get your wings and fly.
That's
That
right.
what do you think? What do you think about it, really, Deborah? I don't know.
Um, for me, I would say to that young person, follow your dreams. I've always been someone, I do that with my children. I think
Yes,
young people are the generation. I mean, I'm in my 50s. I just clocked 50 this year, so my generation is different. Then you've got the Gen Zs, I think. Then you've got the millennials. That generation, I have to be honest, they don't give two monkeys really about what they really want to do. They do what they want to do. They do what comes to them. Now, I'm not sure it's saying they go out and just because some of our generation can't stand that generation. They think they're just like YOLO, just live and let live. They don't care, this, that, and the third. But I actually love their bravery. I love their confidence. And they live by their own rules. And that's
yes,
just how it is, like me or lump me. And they show in their skills and their talents that I'm good at what I am. So
yes,
allow me to be. I may want to come in and my shirt might be ripped, but don't look at my shirt ripped and say that's how I'm going to perform today. What I am going to show you in my skills and talents. So for me, I would say go for whatever you want to go for. Believe in what you want to believe in. Like you are
yes,
advocate for young people to always have something else other than your 9 to 5 that you do, the hustle that you do, the
right,
the paycheck that you get so you can be your own boss. And I know not
that's good.
everyone's going to be their own boss in this world. We do need employees to work. Otherwise, there's no one in the office, right? There's no one to do the office job. But at the end of
Exactly.
the day, I just believe that if you have this conviction in your heart, follow your heart. My 16-year-old a couple of years ago said she wanted to lock her head. And she was still in high school, you know.
Yes,
She never went through with it, but I know she will. And now she's in culinary school, she's in cookery school. And
yes,
you know, if she were to lock her hair, I know there will be people who question it, but also there will be people who will not even care because her hair is always under a hat. because she's in the
Yes,
kitchen all the time. So she has to wear a chef's hat, you know?
that's right.
And yeah, so I just say go for what you want to go for, and keep it at that. If you feel you're in an environment where you want to progress and you're not allowed to because of your hair, chop it off. It's just hair. It is hair. Chop it off. It's not your time. You can grow it again. You won't be there forever. You won't work. You won't be there forever. Even if you work there for however many years, you will probably move on somewhere else. So
That's right.
if you have to conform to their rules, conform, but start off with what you want to do, you know?
Yes, yes. Starting off with what you want. Right.
Yeah.
When you're talking about your daughter,
Manuel will be back in a minute. He's frozen. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm still trying to look for where the comments are. Let me see. Oh, let me check my other phone. I might be able to see your comments. So maybe I can answer some questions. I think Emmanuel's frozen. He'll come back. But I'm certainly enjoying this. What time is it? We've been at it for about 45 minutes. So yeah. Okay, let me put the volume down. I can see the comments. Thank you, Brittany's life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Charles, thank you, Johnny the Dread. Thank you. We're good. Love the inspirational stories. Okay, we answered that. What question do both of you get most? Okay, Johnny, I'll ask that as well. What question do we get the most? Kev, God, thank you so much for joining. I've got my other phone. Okay. Oh my God, he left. Let's see. He might be able to use the other. He might be able to use the other. I'll stay on live for a bit. Anyway, and in the meantime, I am going to answer your question. It will probably use the I don't know if you will be able to join back, but if we will need to finish this another day. Let me answer you, Johnny. The question I get the most, the question I get the most is usually online. As I said before, it's typically not let me just see whether or not. Okay. All right. Okay. I can see the questions here. Okay. Awesome. I'm getting used to all of this. So, all right. Okay. Okay. He's back. I've added him. He's back. He's back. He's back. All right, Emmanuel.
L.O.V.E here. Yes. Sorry
Okay.
about.
That's okay. That's okay. We have a question for you, though, a question for both of us. And Jordan the Dread is asking, he says, what question do you get the most? I'll answer too.
Let me see. Do you wash your hair? Yeah, yeah. I think let me see. That's one of them.
What do you
Uh,
say? What do you say, Emmanuel, when they ask you, do you wash your hair?
oh, I would like to tease a little bit. I would like. I've never washed my hair since I started.
I like that. I like that. That's exactly what I'll do. I'll be like, now let me have a think. Oh my gosh, let me think now. Gosh, good God, do I wash my hair? Oh my Lord, let me think. I need to check. What year is this? This is 2022. I think the last time I watched it was 1977. Jesus Christ. What?
It's crazy.
All right, okay. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. So yeah, share, can you tell us, Emmanuel, an absolute no-no when it comes to your locks? I think he's frozen again, but he'll come back. An absolute no-no. Thank you, Denise, for joining. I see you. I see you. I see you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. You are in your third set, finally free from it at 63 years old. You see? So there you go. Thank you for sharing, Denise. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there with us. I the question I get the most. Sorry. Let me think. Do you use oils? Do you use oils? Let me see. Okay, I think he might be back. Let me see. It's taking me a while to. I think he might be back. I need to. He's probably going to be back. What did I do a second ago? This is all new to us, so do bear with us. This go live together is very, very, very new. I've got a feeling he's somewhere in the background there. Let me see. Oh, blimey. Got it on my screen and let's see. You're 9 months in. Oh, that's amazing, Denise. Let me see if Emmanuel is back. He'll probably be trying to get hold of I can't seem to clear my screen to see what options. Thank you, Denise. Thank you for subscribing. That's amazing. Thank you. Good morning. Grace and peace. Thank you for joining. Good morning. Welcome in. Thank you so much. My guest was just kicked out a minute ago, so therefore I'm waiting for him to come back in. But in the meantime, oh, let's see. Okay. In the meantime, I'm trying to get my screen to. Oof. All right. It's been a fun one. Oh, can't seem to clear my screen of the messages. No, I don't know what I did a minute ago. If he's back on or not. All right. Bear with me 1 second. Thank you so much for joining us as well. I appreciate you all being in the house. We were really at the fun side. Um, or maybe he's not tried to get back in, to be honest. Anyway, I get asked the question all the time, do I oil mine? Do I put oils in my locks? No, I don't. That's just a straightforward answer. I don't. I allow the sebum, the natural sebum, to do its magic, and I do my best to eat very well. That pretty much is it. I try to eat a very as good as I can. Not perfect by no means. No, I'm not perfect at all. With my diet. So I don't know if Emmanuel's trying to get back in. Let me see if I can send him a quick email. That's the only way I can reach him. So mm, back in. The next question I was going to ask him was, what's an absolute no-no when it comes to his free from locks? So okay, here he is. Here we go. He's back. He's back. He's back. I hope you might have to turn off maybe notifications on his phone so that it doesn't cut out his live broadcast. Hi, Emmanuel. Did you get some sort of notification or maybe a phone call or something?
Okay, no, no, no. Actually, my device just had an issue or something. It just went dead. So I
Okay.
changed the device. I just
Are
got it.
you able to
Yes,
continue?
yes. We are able to continue now. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Okay then. So I've answered the questions. We've answered the questions. We've got a few more people in the house, and you know,
Cool, cool. I love
all
the
good
vibe.
stuff.
Really, really, really.
Yes, yes, yes. I was going to ask you, Emmanuel. I was asking you, what's an absolute no-no when it comes to your freeform locks? What is one thing that is like, no, 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 this is not happening with my locks? One thing.
Okay. Dyeing them. Yeah, having them colored like red, yellow, blue, or whatever. Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I yes. That one really stands out. I don't know if there's
Why?
some other.
Why is the die, no for you?
Yeah, I just feel that I would if I want to have my hair bleached, I just want the sun to do it like naturally, right? I just like the sun. I because I want my hair to really like tell a story. I was looking at lions the other day, and there was this thing they said about their mane, that their mane tells a story, and that the darker their mane, the more dominant, and all those kind of things. So I was like, um, why wouldn't I just let things just go? I just want. I'm the I kind who just likes to allow things go the way they have to go naturally. You're right. If the sun has to bleach them, let it bleach it. But I
Yeah,
don't have to put in too much effort to change their color. So yeah. Sometimes I admire it on some other people, like especially if they just bleach some certain sections of it. Yeah, it's kind of yeah. But for me personally, it's like a no-no. Yeah,
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 yeah. I agree as well. I agree. When I had my
yes.
hair loose, I did add color to my hair, maybe once or twice, something like that. And actually, when I had my first set of freeform locks, just before I started my locks, my hair was dyed. So I started that journey with dyed freeform locks, and then it started to fade as the hair grew, and it started sort of coming to the ends. The more your hair
Okay.
grows, the color sort of
Yes.
moves upwards, and it started to
Right.
fade. But for me, an absolute no, no. Definitely no dyeing, because I just feel the chemical in the dye would most certainly destroy my fine hair. I mean, I'm a fine haired woman. It would destroy it completely. I
I
know
can
that.
imagine.
It
Yes.
just it will fall out. But for me, a no-no is retwist. Retwisting is a no-no for me. I just
Okay.
can't see my hair surviving. Just like the dyeing,
Yes.
it's going to be too much on my strands that are just so delicate. I understand my hair so much that I'd be punishing my hair by retwisting if I were to do that. So that's a no-no for
I
me.
get it. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, what are your challenges, by the way, being a fine-haired free former? I mean, do you like, I don't know, is there anything particular? Because that was one of the things that came up when I was getting to know, discover you on your channel. There was this theme that kept coming up with the fine-haired free forming and all of that. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering now that you're talking about it, um,
Yeah.
is there any particularity, for instance, does it require like, I don't know, some extra patience, extra care? Does it take longer to lock or something like that? I don't know. I'm just
Great, 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 great questions. Absolute great questions. So, from a young age, I've always known that I have fine hair, even to the point to my temples. If you look here, you would think that it's an aging process. It isn't. This is how my father's hair
right.
was. We have this receding hairline here. You can see it's very
Yes.
equal on both sides, and I've got
Yes.
hair, and that's how it's always been. I've got fine hairs here, and so from a young age,
Yes.
I've always known I have fine hair. In fact, I don't think I started doing my hair, doing anything to my hair until the first time I did something to my hair. I was 17 years old. That's the first time I actually did anything to my hair.
17. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
from birth.
Wow.
Yeah, never plaited my hair,
Like,
never, nothing.
okay.
No, no, never did
Wow.
anything.
Interesting.
17 years old was the first time I actually did anything to my hair. So
Oh,
didn't even grow it out. It barely even grew. So I just kept it short for school. My mom would
yes.
always say it's just so fine and fly away. She felt like perhaps she would maybe do some damage to me if she tried to do something to it. So she just left it, you know.
Yeah.
So I've understood my hair from a young age. So by the time I got to wearing my hair in an afro and doing all the other things to it naturally, I realized that my strands are so delicate that I just need to be patient. I need to be patient with it. There's certain styles you
Yes.
would never see me do, even when I was a loose natural, like putting my hair up in a ponytail like this. I'll never do that.
Yes.
I'll never do that because it
Oh,
changed the look of my face. It almost made me look like I was bald when I didn't want to look bald. If I pull my hair back,
okay.
it's like I don't have any hair at all, and I didn't like that. So it's just understanding the texture of my hair, not the number of 1C or 2B or 3C, but the texture of my hair and just being patient with it. I'm just patient with it.
Being patient. Yes.
There's no extra special thing I have to do to it. The other thing I notice is it doesn't like too much products. And this is why I'm glad I'm staying away from oils and creams, butters and conditioners and all that. My hair doesn't do well because it's light. It retains those things and then it weighs it down and it clumps it. It just clumps. I mean,
Yes.
it just gets mucky and nasty and icky.
I can
Very, very
imagine.
quickly it
Yeah.
gets icky.
Mm,
So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of just don't
Okay.
that's why I'm happy to freeform and just wash and go. I washed it today and I'm done for the year. This is my last wash for the year. So yeah, great question.
Oh, big time. Big time. I was gonna have a wash today this afternoon too, before
Yeah,
I travel.
before you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
give it a nice wash.
Great, great. This is interesting. And you're talking about products, right? And I was like, okay, do you, if you had to recommend, are you huge on products? And what would you like use normally in your routines? What do you go for, or does it really depend on? I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Because
Um,
it's from you that I learned. I mean, I need to tell you this. It's from you that I decided to go like no oil, like rely only on my sebum. And and since then, what I found really interesting about it was that I think I used to have a very oily skin and oily scalp. So just by doing that, I just found so much relief, and I never turned back. Yeah, I was initially worried because then it's gonna have this dryish look and everything, but then it's just rocking good.
good, good,
So
good, good.
it leaves me with the question like, do you have any products that you normally go for?
No, 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 no. I mean, for me, generally on my skin, I use shea butter. I keep it simple. I use shea
Okay.
butter for my skin because
Yes.
I'm originally from Africa and I know it's got great benefits. So that's what I use on my skin. Um,
Right.
but for my locks, I wash it. Like I say in my all my videos, I don't do anything secret, anything hidden behind the cameras. What I say is exactly what I do. If you were a fly on the wall in my shower, all you will see me do is shampoo. So today I've had a wash, I shampooed my hair, and all I used was shampoo. And I did something different today, which was I used a soft bristle brush and I brushed
Okay.
my hair before I jumped in the shower to remove any links that might be caught between my hair that I can't see for
Oh,
myself because I can't see the pattern all over
okay.
my hair. So I use that very
Yes.
gently to just brush along the shaft of my locks. And then I jumped in the
Okay.
shower and then I shampooed twice. And I usually focus on my scalp and then let the shampoo run
It's
into my hair. And I stay there
okay.
for extra long so that I don't have any soap stuck between my locks. And then
Yes.
I brushed again. I brushed my hair while it was
Okay.
wet in the shower because the brush will grab the lint, any lint that is stuck
I get
that I
it.
can't pick out. It will grab that,
Yes.
but a soft one.
Okay.
And that
A
pretty
soft
much is
one.
all
Yes.
I do. Um,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
drink lots of
Okay.
water as well. I try to take in a lot of water and eat fruits as much as I can, but I'm not perfect. I do have some eating
Yeah.
habits that are not that great, but I say 90% of the time I eat well. And
Yes.
yeah, and I try to get in the sun as well as much as I can for several months in the year so that, like you, it can really penetrate my hair and give it all that
Yes.
goodness. So that's it. But products,
Right.
I was a product junkie when I was a loose natural, Emmanuel, and I can't be bothered. I don't want to be a slave to products anymore. I just can't be bothered. It's wasting my money, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Right. Right, right. Okay, cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool, really.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
It's interesting.
for you, Emmanuel, are
Wow.
there any
So,
taboos? Are there any
about,
taboos surrounding growing free from locks where you come from, which is Cameroon, where you come from and where you live? Are there any taboos? I think he's frozen. Have you frozen? His internet. Okay, you're back.
yes.
Are there
Yeah.
any taboos, Emmanuel, surrounding growing free from locks where you come from? Are there any taboos?
I think it's quite a question now because if I just go by reactions that I get like in my immediate surrounding, yeah, I would say yes because it's still um it's still something that is frowned upon, is frowned on, you know. I know that more and more in my immediate environment, for instance, you have more of the manicured locks, which easily have a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but once it becomes free form, I think it just changes the game. The whole game just changes. It's a whole different level. Because I remember having some friends who, at the time, they've cut it down now, but at the time they wanted to start off some locks and everything. But every time they were like, your own guy, you're going on a different level now. You're just like, I don't know where this one is coming from. So there seems to be that difference between that I see, uh, especially when it's the high top and it's manicured. That one seems to really have a pass easily. Yeah, it's
Okay.
so I think
Okay.
that free form locks is really still really still taboo. It's really still
Okay. Okay. Still quite
that.
frowned upon. It's still frowned
Yes,
upon.
it's still yes. It's not easy to navigate around. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
right,
Okay. Okay.
right.
Okay. For me, where I come from originally, it's actually a mix of both. Locks generally, manicured locks acceptable. The free from locks are seen as spiritual. There is a specific religious denomination where they believe in it. They actually, when their babies are born, they don't cut the baby's hair, especially the boy, more so the boy than the girl. They don't cut the
Yes,
baby's hair and they let it form itself. And you will see all these bits that are hanging. They don't manicure the baby's locks. They just let it grow naturally and it will start to hang. And so it's seen as a spiritual thing
yeah, yeah. I
where
get that. I get
where I
that
come
too.
from. Yeah,
I get that too.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's seen
Yeah,
as a
because I
spiritual
remember.
thing.
Yeah, because I remember the last comment I heard was like, "Ah, this man, you want being a Mexican man on a wait, you want do enter that something to do with,
The
exactly,
spiritual occult or something.
exactly." So it was going
Yeah,
that direction. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But in terms of taboos, they will also call people who have locks or locks like this in my country. They would call them dada. They say dada,
yes,
Dada,
yes,
dada, which
yes,
just
yes,
means locks.
yes, yes. We have that name too. Yeah, so a few
Yeah,
times you hear it too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, did you have any questions you wanted to
You
ask me?
mentioned, yeah, you mentioned your 14-year-old or wanting to
Yeah.
lock up her hair. How do you see this? Are you more like what do you think about how do I want to put it? Are you comfortable? Would you I mean no, let me put it the right way. Would you love your children, all your children to have locks? I mean, is it a desirable thing? Are you would you encourage them? Or how do you go about it? You know, is it
Yeah, yeah, good question, good question.
yeah,
I mean, my oldest is 19, my youngest is
19? Yes.
16.
Okay.
So they're not babies.
Right.
Perhaps maybe when they were small, and maybe if I was in this mindset to lock mine, I certainly would have
Yes.
done it for the whole family, boy and
Yes.
girl. I would have done. I've seen families like that. I absolutely love it, where you see mom, dad, and all the kids are locked, and
Exactly.
I'm like, come on, bring it on. I just love it. And it's all free
Exactly.
form lock as
Exactly.
well.
I
I
love it
just
too.
like, oh, I just love it. I love it. The girls, the boys, everyone's locked. I definitely want that. But my 19-year-old, she veers towards the conforming societal, the wigs, the weaves. And she doesn't get that from me because I've never worn a
Yes,
wig or weave in my life. And I don't
I
plan to
get it.
wear one. No shade.
I get it.
I just can't do it, you know? So my
Right.
older one, she's more of the society, whereas my younger one, she's more my organic child. So
Okay.
she will probably at some point lock her hair, if not freeform, she will probably do the manicured lock. Mind you, she also has very fine hair, just like mine, you know,
Interesting.
very
Yeah.
fine hair, just like mine, but a lot more. She's got a lot more natural hair. So
Okay.
um, I think it's a great thing. I think we lead by example, and our kids should emulate something that is good. But if they choose not to, like my older one,
Yes.
I'm not going to force you. I let you be
Exactly.
free. You will learn. I'm teaching you, I'm showing you, and that should be the
Yes.
example. And I'm telling you, I'm talking to you. And hopefully, it makes sense. Yeah.
I
So, yeah,
agree.
yeah,
I
that's
agree
it.
there. I agree. I agree
Yeah.
there. Yes.
Would
Yeah.
you
My
allow
role.
your kids to lock theirs? And I don't think you have kids, do you, Emmanuel?
Yeah. I have a girl,
Okay,
an
you have a
eight-year
child.
old girl.
Okay,
Yeah. She's seven. She's seven
okay,
presently. Yes. So, yeah, it's true. It's true. She hasn't really spent a lot of time with me.
right.
Yeah, and when that question came to mind, I was like, yeah, I just have this picture in my mind of like, I mean, if daddy loves this thing and it's great, doing great for him, and he's just having his way through life, and he's healthy, he's strong. I mean, naturally, then I'll do everything to expose them the good, the good thing that comes with having locks. My boys should like be able to draw confidence from this thing, and even the girls too, and all of that. So now the one that doesn't want it really is because really they just really didn't want it. They were exposed to it, but they just didn't. It wasn't really their thing. But I'm still even I my boundaries are still a little wider around natural hair. The braids, the froze, anything that you want to get. If you want to get playful with your hair in any way, as long as it's natural, really, that's it. And even then, if you want to go beyond, but I think that my role is really just exposing it to you, like showing you that. If people think that you're just a drug dealer somewhere smoking whatever weed all day because you have locks on, that's not really what it is. I want to show you that. So that's it. That's how I see it. So I
Yeah.
would love to have my whole clan all locked up because that's what our tribe, stands for.
Yeah,
So yes,
definitely. Do you have anyone who inspired you? Do you have anyone, because we kind of follow similar channels to gain inspiration, like Not Nation. I
yes,
love Not Nation. You know,
yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
the Dread, who is joining us. Yeah, yes,
exactly,
lead by example.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Not Nation, Johnny the Dread, Troy
Troy Blyden, right?
Blyden, Narissa.
Uh,
Um, Narissa is a
Sean
lady.
Farrell, yes.
She's got locks all the
Mayowa's
way to the
World.
ground. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, one of them that stood out, yeah, Not Nation was really instrumental as to getting me because I was asking myself what kind of locks will I get into? And he really, really got me into the freeform. He sold me on freeform locks. But then I had to identify with somebody who is like closer to the kind of things that I love, like because I love basketball. And at the time, really, I was really, really getting into it. And I found Derrick Rose.
Ah,
What I love about his story was that I'd always known him with low hair. I had not
yeah,
seen him for a while, and I didn't know
yeah.
why he was away until I learned that he had an injury, and that he was at the peak of his career at the time. So
Okay.
the next time I saw Derrick Rose, he had locks on, he looked even more jacked up, and I was like, this guy has to be different. There must be something that this guy has gone through, to have these locks on. And it really showed up in his game. So I was
Yeah,
like, this I want to be like this guy. Yeah.
yeah,
So that was so it's kind of a blend. Not Nation kind of led the way, but Derrick Rose really and his story stood out to me. I needed some kind of narrative, some kind of yeah. I know there's the iconic Bob Marley thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so it's kind
I
of
know. Yeah. For
yeah.
me,
Derrick Rose is my big inspiration. The basketball star. How about
okay.
you?
For me, I'd say Narissa is a lock wearer. I don't know if she's
Yes.
free from lock, but I think she kind of is. Her mom, actually, not Narissa. Narissa's mom. Narissa is
Yes.
very well known.
Yes.
She's a social media influencer, but her
Yes.
mother, who is not a social media influencer, who just appeared in one of her videos maybe 10 years ago, 15 years
Okay.
ago, um, kind of has almost the same texture as mine.
I
Fine,
see.
fine hair. And so she's my inspiration. And I would say June Alexander, who is a African American country and Western singer. She also
Okay.
has Free From Locks. So those two inspire me
Yes.
to just keep going. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's easier to really bond with those who have like, I mean, who have like
Similar.
the similar like hair
Exactly.
texture or kind of story or something like that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's easier that way. So I'm gonna wrap up with the last few
Okay.
questions and then we will say goodbye for the year. Yes, I'm one of the great inspiration. There you go, Grace. Grace knows who I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah. I saw
Yes,
that.
our Caribbean sisters. I think I can't swear. I don't know if they're Jamaicans or from Barbados or one of those. I can't remember which country they originate from, but they're from the Caribbean anyway. Um,
Wow.
Emmanuel, share with us one routine you incorporate into your routine, which has made a huge difference. I've got my notes down here just to remind me. One routine that you incorporated into your locks that's made a huge difference since you started free from locking away your hair?
It's the night capper, yeah, and even better when I switched to the silk. Yeah, because I've been dealing with something. I was woolly and would leave a little leave lint and something like that in my hair and stuff. But I think that really made a difference because I realized that I just realized that especially at that beginning stage, and I'm still in that stage now. I think it really played a big part in just in maintaining, the logs, the baby logs, and not having them tear up easily with the tension on the bed and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think that's been a big changer for me. Wow.
Okay, so you put a cap on when you go to sleep.
Yes, yes, I think yeah.
Yeah.
I started off with I had something that was woolly at the start,
Yeah.
but I realized that it wasn't even too comfortable, and then plus, yeah, so I think
You've
that's
done-
one of them.
you've changed it up. Okay. Um, I for me it's still the one thing which is the oils. The no. I'm so grateful to myself and I'm so proud of myself that I've not gotten to fall for the temptation. The temptation is always there. If you've
Yes,
grown up doing something or you've been doing something for a long time, habits are easy to form, but they are
yes,
difficult to break. So it's
big time.
easy to it's not easy to break a habit. So I'm glad I was able to break that habit of using oils all the time. And the reason
Yes.
I say that is this. I don't have to worry about doing for me personally, I don't have to worry about doing ACV rinses or anything like that because again,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just like what am I washing out? What am I trying to get out? What exactly am I trying to
Okay.
get out? What have I
Interesting
done
there.
that I need to get out? That I need to do
Yes.
that I need to get that fizzing action, that it needs to be, I need to soak my lock in it. Why don't I not prevent rather than cure? That is my
Okay.
mentality. Now,
Okay.
everybody
Interesting.
else might be different. They might say, well, there's dirt in the atmosphere, there's this, that. So every now and again, you need to
Now and then.
decrease it and do whatever.
Yes.
Instead of that, then I'll do a herbal rinse instead of doing a ACV rinse. But for me, if I stay away from the oils, I'm not having to do something else to um, degrease my hair when I can
Yes.
prevent it. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, just that prevention is better than cure. So the oils is
Mm.
just something that I just don't want it to be there. For if I don't
Yes.
need it,
Yes. Yes. Talk about the discomfort. I mean, when you're talking about it, I remember my days back then with oil in my hair. Oh, when I would even keep my like, little fro. it was crazy because it would
And when you're
itch,
in the
it's
sun as well, when you're
irritating.
in the sun, you get that itchiness from the oil melting, you know,
Yes,
because the sun is
yes,
blaring down on you.
exactly. It comes right down to your skin and everything.
Hmm,
You know.
hmm. So, and for me, I live in a cold climate predominantly. So I feel if I add that in, it's going to solidify. It would, oil solidifies in cold climates and then melts in hot climates. So it'll do the
Right,
opposite that it does to you. It'll do the opposite for me. It will just clump in and stay in. So for me, that's
right.
something that I've incorporated into my routine. Hey, Sean.
Hey, there he
Greetings,
goes.
bro. How
Wow,
are you? It's nice to have you. Welcome
this
in.
is big.
All right, then. So we're going to wrap up now, Emmanuel. It's been over an hour. This is just so much
No,
fun. We're going to do it again sometime in the future. It looks like it's been really a good, good, good
definitely,
one.
definitely, we're going for another ride. Yeah.
We're gonna go for another round. I know you have to travel, but let's wrap up with this one. And this is the question I have for you. Do you think that what you eat or what we eat as humans, or do you think that what we eat plays a big role in our freeform locks? So if you're a freeform lock wearer, are you mindful of what you eat in terms of whether that would have an impact on how your lock turn out?
Yes, definitely, definitely, big one. And if it's not only specific to your hair, but then if we just bear in mind that your body, your scalp, all of those things are part of your body, and you need to keep them healthy. And food is like the biggie, 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 the big one. So I strongly believe. And then the more, everyone is really different, and then but then food plays a really big role because then you want to be bringing in the nutrients, especially for us who are no oil free formers. You want to bring in those nutrients, just naturally into the body. I think that some in a way we pay too much attention to the externals, you know, and lose sight of the internals, which would produce you that goodness, which would produce you that sebum that you need in the right proportions, you know, and the vitamin E's and everything you get from your food and fruits and avocados and stuff. So I'm a big believer and promoter of, yes, that food. I do agree that food plays a big role.
Awesome.
Yes, as long as you stay in balanced. I know that I think that sometimes we worry too much also at the other extreme that, oh no, we had a little bit of sweets, we had those cakes and stuff and whatever. But I think at the end of the day, it's just a balance. If we are happy, you know. Um, and I was just
Exactly.
watching a program yesterday about how much our environment fashions our DNA and everything, So once you're in that happy environment, you're feeling free, you're feeling good, you're doing your thing, and then you're putting in those, you're trying to balance out your diet as much as possible. Why not? You get the best of everything else.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right. I agree
exactly.
too. Totally, 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 totally. You couldn't
Yes,
have said it any better. You could not have said it any better. And that's what I rely on mostly for the, well-being and growth of my whole entire being, including what's on my head. Um,
yes,
because my hair is fine, because it's very tender, it's very fragile, and because I'm using less topically, I rely more internally, in terms of my intake of water has to be good. I don't overdo it, but
yes.
I would not lie. I do eat biscuits every now and again, and I don't have a sweet tooth. Sometimes I want to eat some nasty stuff. I want to go to the fast food restaurant and say, you know what? I
I
haven't
mean,
eaten fast food for the whole year. I'm just gonna go
right,
and stuff my face
of
with some fast
course.
food, and now deal with it. But you won't see me there again for another 6 months or year. So, but I'm going to do what makes me happy for that moment. I want to be part of what everybody else might be doing on a regular. Only I'm going to do it once in a big blue moon. So we
Yes,
shouldn't beat ourselves up and become these experts. If you can and you can stick to it, stick to it. But we are humans after all, and sometimes we fall by the wayside. So we shouldn't beat ourselves up about becoming some nizim, some nizim, whatever the
that's
nizim
right.
is. Okay.
That's right. That's right. I agree
So
fully. Life is, we just have got to enjoy life. I mean,
that that is it. Anyway, Manuel, how have you found it today? How have you found catching up today?
no, it was great. It was great. I mean, it gave me an opportunity to plunge back
Yeah,
and then to reinforce
yeah.
my steps on this journey, this wonderful free form journey. So it was a great one. And I thank
Thank
you
you.
really for putting me on this one. And I enjoyed this more than you did.
Thank you for being a great sport. And even though you kept coming in and going out, you still carried on and came back, and we've carried on. So have a wonderful festive holiday. Enjoy your
Thank
holiday
you.
time. And
You too.
yeah, much blessings. Thank you for joining, and I'll catch you up. I don't think there's any more questions. They're just people saying hi and saying hello and just sharing, one or two things. So I think we've pretty much answered all the questions. Okay.
By the way, will you have some fufu? Will you have some fufu this season?
Who, me?
Yeah, whether it's the yam, fufu, or I don't know, whatever it is,
I'm
pounded
going to be
yam.
when I cross to the other side. That's what I'm going to be eating. When I cross to the other side very soon, I'm going to definitely be looking for some of that, Emmanuel. All right, then. Catch you
All
soon.
right. Catch
Okay,
you
then.
too.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
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 Stay
Bye. Bye.
locked.
Bye. All right. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you being in the house. Thank you so much for your patience with us. And yeah, until the next one, if you do want to be a guest or you want me to be a guest on your channel, please do feel free. Send me a message here on Nonconformist Eyewear. Until next time, catch you later. Bye.
Bye bye.